Below, the planet burned. Kale watched the feed without blinking. Contempt settled and precise. Cities collapsed into geometry. Faith boiled out of stone. Somewhere beneath the firestorm, people were still pleading to gods that had already failed them. The code rested against his chest, etched into an iron plate no larger than a child's palm, ancient, unforgiving. Its weight had nothing to do with mass. Honor above all. Duty above self. No sacrifice too great. Words meant to raise men into pillars, not burn them into corpses. Against blackened void armor, it looked obscene. A relic demanding relevance in an age that had forgotten pressure. This world had been marked long before his arrival. An old edict. Raise strong stock. Breed warriors. Instead, it had curdled into comfort, indulgence, noise, softness masquerading as peace. Kale answered the way fire always answers rot. From orbit, there was no negotiation, no theater, no appeal. He would not pollute his legions with weakness learned planetside. Judgment was cleaner at a distance. Fire did what debate never could. It simplified. Perhaps something would crawl out of the ash later, something hard, something furious, something that would curse his name and sharpen itself for vengeance. The thought pleased him. Behind him, robed advisors murmured. Critics always did. They thrived in proximity to power without ever touching it. No commitment, no cost, no blood on their hands. They spoke as if consequence were theoretical. Kale dismissed the impulse to correct them or to purge them. Any fool can burn a village, he said quietly. A storm-born man does not indulge in cruelty. He turned from the fire. Each step carried the certainty of a man not conquering the galaxy, but correcting it, rebuilding it according to a law older than mercy and far less forgiving. Here is the pattern most refuse to see. Heroes do not ignite themselves. They sit, quietly rotting in the soft soil of whatever status quo they were born into. A hero without opposition is just another villager with decent posture. It is the villain who kicks the world off its tired axis. It is the villain who says, "This comfort you cling to is a padded cage, and I am about to tear the walls apart." That rupture is the forge. Across myth cycles, sagas, and ash-streaked epics, the structure holds. The catalyst is never the gentle shepherd or the dutiful soldier. It is the adversary whose will is sharp enough to cut into the hero and bleed out everything soft. The villain acts. The hero reacts. And in that reaction, something hardens. Purpose, identity, ferocity, clarity. Heroes are not baked into existence. They are tempered by betrayal and brutality. Transformation is never gentle. It is a baptism of fire and darkness. There is an uncomfortable truth beneath the ruin. The hero almost owes the villain gratitude. Nothing polite. Something scratched in bone. Because without that adversarial force, the hero would never discover the shape of their own power. The villain excavates the buried self. All of life is war. But when the dust settles, when hero and villain have settled accounts, the critics arrive. They are the ones who would have found a better way had they been the ones to do it. The ones who could have negotiated cleaner terms or chosen a more humane angle. It is the posture of someone who wants authority without bruises, a paper throne, a wooden sword, a stance that pretends to shape the world but never risks being shaped by it. Critique without action is a coward's perch, sitting safely outside the arena, throwing stones at those who bleed. There is no pressure, only commentary. No embodiment, no counterweight. It is the attempt to claim the hero's clarity without enduring the villain's storm. Criticism costs nothing. Creation costs blood. The hero answers force with force. The critic answers nothing. Epilogue. What the fire left behind. She rose when the sky finally stopped burning. Ash clung to her skin, worked into the seams of old wounds and new ones. The world around her had been reduced to honesty. No walls, no voices, no excuses left standing. Fire had done what fire always does. It told the truth. She had lost her name with the rest of the dead. That was acceptable. Names were soft things. What remained did not need one. Her breath came slow, measured. Pain was present, but stripped of drama. Pain was just information now, proof that something inside her still refused to yield. She knelt once, not in prayer, but to touch the ground and feel what survived beneath the ruin. Stone, bone, heat, something solid enough to build on. They had spoken a name before they died, a name carried on smoke and terror, etched into memory by orbiting fire. Kale. She did not curse it. She stored it. The galaxy would forget this place. Empires always did. That, too, was acceptable. She did not require witnesses. She stood, and standing became intention. Not justice. Not balance. Repayment. Far above the ash, a man was reshaping the stars according to an ancient code, convinced that fire strengthened. He was wrong. Sometimes it selects.